Welcome to the Category Mistake. I am your host, Richard Mariello, and I have been gone for 2 weeks. Boo-hoo, everyone misses me. Okay, one person missed me. She texted me saying, hey, what happened to your podcast? And I'm like, listen, Dragon Fart, that's their username. Hey, I'm working on it. So, last 2 weeks I haven't been here. Here's the reason. I left the job I had. I started a new job. I wanted to have a clear mental state for my last week and first week. Here's what happened. Worked at Target for the last year and a half. Loved it. Security, talked to people, dealt with bad guys, dealt with good guys, dealt with everything in between. Missing kids, bad people stealing things, people losing things. I'm there. Missing kids, missing people. Got it. No problem. Wore the yellow shirt. Had the dog with me. Beautiful time. Everyone loved me. Okay, not everyone. Bad guys didn't love me, but that's okay. Started a new job. The new job is something dear to my heart. In this world today, we have a lot of homeless people. We do. Sometimes on their own, they want to be homeless or they have problems and they're homeless because of those problems. Got it. We have a large amount of veterans who are homeless. I'm a veteran. Kind of near and dear to my heart. I'm working with homeless veterans. Here's what I'm doing. I'm meeting with homeless veterans. We have housing for them. I'm in the house with them a lot of times. And I'm like, hey guys, what do we need to do? So I look over their folders, I look over their paperwork, I look over what they got, and I go, hey, you need this, or hey, you need that. Now, got 8 guys. Well, right now 7. We're going to have 8 guys again. And these guys, some of them have never had the VA to help them with anything. They don't want the VA, they don't like the VA is evil, yada, yada, yada. And because of that, they've never done the correct paperwork. Why I'm there. I'm there to help them with the right paperwork. I'm also there to complain to the VA and get things done moving faster than maybe just some guy who doesn't know how to use the system. I think the VA is a big, big corporation that the government funds that does not do enough for all of its people. And it sucks. Now, the people of the VA do not suck. It's the bureaucracy of the VA. Okay, there's lots of people in the VA who do lots of good things. And those people are great. Love them. Deal with them all the time. Have no problem with those people. I have had good people in the VA who have helped me. I've had people in the VA who have not helped me. But the point is, my job is to help these people. Here's what's funny. The funny thing is, when I started teaching, which a lot of you know and I've talked about before, when I started teaching, I went into a school where all these kids had been dropped by the previous teachers of this one, like the history teacher. Kept going through them like water, just new teacher all the time. It was crazy. They just could not get a teacher to stick. And these kids hated it. They wanted nothing to do with me. Literally, I've talked about it before. I had one student say, you're not going to stick around long enough for me to care, so I don't care. I stuck around. I still talk to that student and to other students. Literally, Dragon Fart is one of my old students. So that's why I know they still talk to me. Here's the funny thing. I walk in last week, start doing my thing, and I have these veterans who have been let down over and over and over and over by people who are supposed to care about them. And I say, hey, I care. They don't believe me. Shocking, right? I'm just another Joe Schmo. Now, here's the difference between me and a lot of the guys who've been in there before. Of the last 7 people who've tried to help them, none of them have been veterans. I'm a veteran. Hey, that's a positive in my avenue, right? I'm there. I know what they're going through a little bit. Not everything. Not everyone knows everybody's crap. That's just the world we live in. Deal with it. But I know enough. I know how the VA works. I know that there's a lot of people in the world who hate the VA and why. Got it. 100%. No problem. Here's the difference. I'm not going anywhere. And I told them that. I told a student of mine that. She knows who she is. I've told many students that. I've told other people that. I won't leave you. You can leave me, but I'm not going anywhere. I refuse to just give up on anybody. That's also my downfall in life. If you've heard other podcasts, I don't give up. I'm really annoying that way. I struggle with giving up on people who have no one else on their corner. Okay? Students don't have anyone else in their corner. I have guys in this building who haven't gone to a dentist, who haven't gone to a doctor, who haven't gotten housing, who are literally living on the street for months and months and months. Why? Because the VA didn't acknowledge their existence. And when they try to talk to people, every time they talk to somebody, it was a new person because that person left. I'm not leaving. Now, on that avenue, if, they get rid of me, that's different. I am not voluntarily getting rid of these guys. I am not going to bail on these guys. They're going to have to drag me out of the building or bring me up to help more guys, maybe bring us all to a bigger building. That's different. I am not leaving them for anything else. I'm not quitting on them because too many people have quit on these guys. I've got guys who got out in the 70s and have no services because of VA. They didn't know how to wrangle the VA in the 80s, and they've never done it. Now we're doing it. And that's why I'm there. In 2 weeks, I've kind of learned that no one knows, the people that works for this company, no one knows exactly how to work through certain dynamics of the VA. I'll do whatever it takes. I don't care. I don't mind if someone says, oh, you're annoying or you're pestering. Great. That's literally my job. And that brings me to why I'm talking about all this today. The old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease and all that garbage, right? That was probably put out by somebody who never gets their way unless they complain and wear somebody down. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about complaining for something that I want. Okay? In the world today, we complain about everything. We call them Karens. Okay? Karens complain about everything. Your car is too close to my lawn, or your kid was walking on the sidewalk too close to my fence. That's not what I'm talking about. What we need today in the world is advocates. Advocates to stand up for people who the system has manipulated and beaten down. I'm not talking about, I got 9 nuggets instead of 10. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who have done everything right in the system. The system just says, screw you, I don't care about you. There needs to be someone who steps in the middle there. Someone who steps in the gap. All of us have had somebody, I think, most of us have had somebody who has helped us when there's been a huge gap between what needs to happen and what is happening. Okay? I had that many, many times. My first remembrance of somebody was when I was in high school. And I've talked about this guy a lot. He was my 9th grade teacher, knew him forever, Okay? Mr. Ingracia. David Ingracia, great guy. He stood in the gap for me because I had no idea what the heck I was doing when I got to that school. I've never known what I was doing. I had no clue. And no one else understood me because I didn't come from the same world they did. I was different. I was an outsider. In the world today, we have lots of outsiders who have no one to speak up for them. I'm not talking about people who say, well, I identify as a willow tree and I need you to no, I'm talking about people who maybe have a learning disability, autism, or people who, have dyslexia, or people who, don't feel mentally right and they just need someone to understand them to help them get through the next step of their life. It's not, and I've said this in the past, what we need is not people to give us, to do all the work for us. We don't need someone to go into the water and pull us up and throw us onto the boat. We need someone to hold out their hand and help us up. When you fall down, when you're drowning, whenever it is, you need someone to reach down. Hey, can I give you a help up? Happens every week on the football field. Guy falls down, gets tackled. His teammates are there to pick him up. He could probably get up on his own. But isn't it more helpful when you have somebody who just gives you that little nudge? Little pickup. I have a son with autism. Great kid. Nicest kid we have. Well, one of the nicest kids we have. He's getting married. Yay. Him and his fiance both have autism. Everyone knows, I'm not saying anything that he doesn't want people to know. Their wedding is in a month. Medieval theme. Beautiful. In the woods. The whole shebang bang. Outfits, swords, staffs. Yay. Here's the thing. The thing is, he has autism. He has no idea what to do. So I went down to City Hall. We got a mismarriage license with his fiance. No problem. I helped him out through that. He had to order, tables and chairs. Helped him out with that. Now, that's not me saying, hey, Josh, let me do all this for you. It's, hey, Josh, let's do this together. I'm not doing it for him. He's participating. It's just the human interaction. He struggles with understanding what people want. I understand. I do. I'm there to help him. And this is what I used to do as a teacher too, and some students loved it, and some students, well, they hated it, and that's fine. I think Dragonfart was one of the ones who hated it, but they're better now. I would say, hey, I'm here. If you need me, I'm here. If you need help with this, if you want to talk, if something's stressing you out, if you do the work and try, you will never fail my class. All you've got to do is try. You got to give effort. If you give effort, I'm going to give effort. Yay, we both win. Some students didn't understand that. They really thought it was just something I would say to encourage them, but it wasn't meaningful. And one of my students reached out to me and said, that's what it took her months of watching me every day. And something called study skills was after school, like a study hall, every day. And I would just let her talk, let her work out her problems, do her homework with, help her with her homework. Small things, little things, dumb things. Trust me, they were dumb. She can say they're not. They're dumb. Okay. I always was there. I never said, oh, go back to your seat. I don't want to talk to you. We're here to just study and learn from your book and da, da, da. No, what I said was, when you get out of my class, what I want is for you to be good human beings. You can learn everything in this book, but if you're not good people, there's no point. You need to be human beings that are helpful and good for the world. We don't need any more crappy people on this planet. We don't. We need people who are there to encourage, to lift up, to help. And that's what I wanted in my students. And I would tell them that all the time. And sometimes it took the entire school year for them to figure it out. And sometimes it would take 2 school years for them to figure it out. But I was there. For those 2 years, I would say the same thing. I want you to learn history. I want you to learn science. I want you to learn all of this. But if you have to learn one thing, it's be a good person. Not a perfect person. I don't want you to be Jesus. I don't want you to be God. I want you to be somebody who, at the end of the day, people can look at and say, you know what? I can trust them to help me. They're a person that I can look up to. They're a person that I want to be like. I have students now who are in college trying to be, educators and speech therapists and nurses and everything in between. Out freaking standing. Those are jobs that help people. That's all I wanted. If I have one student in 20 years go, hey, Mr. M, really help me understand that I'm here to be to help society, to help people, to help the world be a better place, I won. That's all I want. It's kind of stupid, but that's all I want. I'm not saying I'm dying. All I want is when I die, and I said this to David Ingrassia, and he wants me, when he dies, I want someone to be able to have at my funeral say, he was my teacher, and he made me feel like I was important. He made me feel like I was special. And that's what we need to do for everybody every day. Do you feel special? Does someone make you feel loved? Does someone make you feel like you're amazing? I would tell my students every year, and I told the veterans, some of them this, and I've told other students this, and other people this, you're awesome. You're doing great. I had a student I talked to today. She's in college. I said, I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of you not because you're in college and you're doing this. I'm proud of you because you've had a crappy couple years. Life has dealt you a lot of stupid. But you're still here and you're still trying to do better. Life is not one day. Life is not 72 years. Life is moment by moment by moment. It's choices we make all day, every day that can change not just our lives, but everyone's lives around us. And it's sad to think in the world we live in today that people have lost that. People look 4 years down the road. They look to November for the election. They look for January. They look for this. They look for that. They stress out about things 6 months, 12 months, 20 years down the road. What's happening now in your life? What can you do today, now, at this moment that can help you, your life, your friends' lives, your loved ones' lives, your dog's life, anything? What can you do to encourage someone to be better? You're not supposed to be the best. No one is the best. Basketball, sports, football, they all say, who's the GOAT? Who's the GOAT? It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. I look back on basketball, on football, and other sports, and I look at players that I enjoyed. I enjoyed Larry Bird. Why? Not because he scored the most points, which he did. He scored a lot of points. But he made the people around him better. Tom Brady made the people around him better. He very rarely ever had the best of anything, other than 2 years ago had Randy Moss, and then he had Rob Gronkowski when he wasn't injured. But most of the time, he didn't have the best. But he still won because he made his team better. Larry Bird won. Not because, Greg Kite or Robert Parrish was the best. He won because he made those people, him, Danny Ainge, and others around him better. He helped them, he encouraged them, he would push them to do things they either didn't know they could do or thought they could not do. I pushed students. You can push someone in your life. All we have to do is encourage and to teach these people in our lives something that maybe they don't know. Right now I work with the church a lot. And the church, it's a lot of technology stuff that I help out with. I can do all this stuff. But if I'm not teaching someone else how to do it, I'm trying to take up all the glory to myself. So I'm trying to teach people how to do it. Now, does it always work? Absolutely not. Sometimes I fall flat on my face. But other times I teach people and they love it and they're encouraged by it and it makes them feel like they're helping. And that's what it is. It's, hey, I can do this. If you want to do this now, I can do this. Great. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to encourage, enlighten, and enjoy each other. Now, I'm talking really fast now, which is great. I'm excited, I guess. I'm raring to go. Now, on that note, what I struggle with, and some of you who know me really well will agree, I sometimes can be bluntly honest and not as encouraging as I think I'm being. Now, sometimes I think telling someone exactly how I feel will encourage them to do better. And what I've discovered over the last forever, and I'm still working on it, it's going to be a forever process, I believe, for me, is that does not work. Sometimes people get rubbed the wrong way by the way I talk to them. Now, I don't try to talk to them to hurt their feelings. I don't make comments thinking, oh, I'm going to destroy them with this. I normally make those comments thinking, this will show them how I see it, and maybe we can work on this together to bring them to a better avenue. What I'm realizing, because I'm a little slow, is that doesn't work for anybody. My sense of humor, my sarcasm, my dry wit does not work for almost anybody that I know. And why doesn't it work? It doesn't work because of the name of this podcast, The Category Mistake. I see things so differently that most of the people in my life don't see it that way. When I bring it up, they think I'm being pushy, mean, annoyed, frustrated. I'm ticked off about it. All these different emotions they get. When I'm just like, hey, this is what it is. They think I'm being belittling, mean. I've said mean multiple times. Maybe it's just a fact. Or talking down to them. I'm not trying to do that, but I am. So I'm starting to try to figure out ways of talking to people where I'm not bludgeoning them with my feelings, emotions, and opinions. Case in point. Discussion that turned into an argument. And normally I just keep going. I hit that nail on the head so hard that it catches on fire or breaks. I decided to say, you know what? We're not going to agree on this. I'm sorry. I understand what you're saying. I know what I'm saying, but we're not going to agree on this. But I care. I care about you. I care about what you think. I'm just not going to see it that way. And I let it go. I'm not good at letting that go, but I'm going to let it go. And that goes for almost everything in my life I'm going to have to start doing, because I am around lots of people with lots of emotions who are very passionate about what they feel. Now, you might be in the same avenue. You might be in the avenue where I'm around people who are so wrong, but they're so mindset. They're so set in their ways that though they're wrong, they think they're right. And they say I'm wrong. Well, maybe you are wrong. Or you see things differently. You can either keep fighting with them, keep arguing with them, or just say, hey, I get it. I hear you. We're not going to agree. I'll keep my opinion. You keep yours. And we'll keep moving on. We don't do that today in the world. I can just say one word, and I know we do not agree in this world. This world is so heated up. And the word is Trump. This gentleman who's running for president is so divisive. He has been twice in 2 months. People have tried to kill him. Twice. And yet people still blame him for people trying to kill him. And no matter what side you're on, if you're a pro-Trump, if someone says, Trump, you get all rah, rah, rah. There's no, hey, you know what? You vote for your person, I'll vote for my person. Whoever wins, we care. And I've brought this up before in other podcasts, you have Reagan versus Mondale, you have Reagan versus Carter, you have Bush versus Dukakis, you have Bush versus Clinton. It doesn't matter. We used to not care that much. There would be rah-rah speeches and let's go and everything else, but there was no gunfire. When we had gunfire, it was Bobby Kennedy, JFK, and it was a big, big deal. It was like, big deal. Now in the last 2 months, someone's been shot at once. Second time, Secret Service got to him before he shot. That shouldn't be happening on a normal basis. It shouldn't be a normal thing to say, hey, Trump got shot at, or there was an assassin in Trump's golf course trying to kill him. That shouldn't be a normal thing, but right now it seems like it is. They've talked more about a sunken man-made sub going to the Titanic in the last 24 hours than the guy who tried to shoot Trump in the face at a golf course, who was hiding in the bushes with a Soviet weapon with porcelain plates to protect him. Guy was a nut job. But anyway, that's where I know we're down a path. And that brings me back to the first thing. Okay. You might have a Trump supporter in your life. You might have a Harris supporter in your life. You might have somebody who hates politics in general in your life. They're not defined by the politics in their life. They're not defined by who they're going to fill in a little blank for in the ballot box. Because we don't see who they fill out. They could say, I'm a Harris supporter, and then they fill in Trump. They could be saying, I'm a Harris supporter, so they don't get yelled at by people around them who are Harris supporters. But they're not. It's okay. It's what we do. And for anyone to say, hey, I hate you because you vote for Trump, or I hate you because you vote for Harris. She's a communist. Well, he's a dictator. They're neither. They're just people. And we can't even agree on that. We can't even agree they're people. They're menaces. They're monsters. They're evil. Get over it, people. They're people. Okay? In the election cycle and in the world cycle we live in, things go bat-crap crazy. And we can either sit here and yell at each other and tell each other how wrong we are, or we can find stuff to agree with, common ground, understanding, and then encourage each other the best we can. We can say, you know what? I know you like Trump. Here's the things I like about Kamala. Or I like Kamala, but here's the things I like about Trump. Not, Kamala's a communist. Hey, I know you like Kamala. Here's why I like Trump. But we don't do that. We go, Kamala's evil and Donald Trump's going to save the world. Or, Donald Trump is evil. He's going to take away all of our rights. And Kamala is our savior. Neither one of them is going to save us, guys. Neither one of them. They're not going to save us. They never have. They never will. No president has ever saved us from anything. Our democracy, democratic republic, not even a democracy, we are one election cycle away from falling apart. All it takes is for people either to vote one drastic way or the other, or not to vote at all, or no one to even run, which is starting to happen more and more, and we're done. We have representation in our government by the Senate and by the House. It's supposed to be people who talk in DC for us. There are places in this country where people aren't running against the incumbents. They're not even trying. That's a problem. That's what we need to fix. We need to encourage people to actively participate in the world we live in. We need to encourage them that the world is not like Chicken Little. The sky is not falling. The sky is not going to fall down and break on top of us. The sky is the sky. And we can either look up at it, gaze at it together in all of its wonderment, or we can scream all day about how it's going to fall on top of us and we're all going to die. I choose the first. I choose, it's pretty. It's not perfect. There's a cloud there. There's maybe a rain cloud over there. Oh, look, there's a jetliner there. Oh, look, the sun's not out today. Or, oh, look, there's the moon. It's a full moon. There's a new moon. It's not perfect, but it's what we got. And we can either love the world we got, do the best we can, look at all of its imperfections, and say, hey, you know what? We're in this together. We can do this. Let's try to be better. Or we can say, screw this. Let's blow the whole crap up. We got enough bombs for it. Let's just do it. Blow it all up. I think we should go with the first option. Try not to blow each other up. Try to respect each other. I know people are like, if Trump doesn't win, there's going to be a civil war. Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt we're at that part in the world. But what I do know is that either way, tomorrow's a new day. We're going to start over the day after the election. Most of our lives are going to be perfectly where they were. There are going to be people on both sides who are going to disagree, and they will always be there. But we're, us normal people, us people who are living day to day, who George Bailey used to say in The Wonderful Life, most of these people, the ones who are living, who are dying, who are doing most of the work, all we want is a roof over our head, with a couple rooms and a bath, with a nice stable job, and to feel like we're providing for the people we care about and that we're there for them when they need us. Be like George Bailey. Encourage people to live reasonably, happy, contentment. That's what we want to be. Be George Bailey. Till next time.